Emmerdale heartache. Vinny Dingle faces his truth, but will Gabby hear it first from someone else? There's a storm brewing in the Dales, and for once, it isn't the weather. Emmerdale fans are about to be gripped by one of the soap's most emotionally layered storylines yet, as Vinny Dingle faces a powerful inner conflict that could shake up his entire future, not to mention destroy the delicate trust he's built with Gabby Thomas. Next week's episodes see Vinny preparing himself for the most difficult conversation of his life, telling his fiancée Gabby that he's confused about his sexuality. But secrets rarely stay hidden in a village like Emmerdale, and it seems fate may beat him to the punch when their private world becomes dangerously public. Secrets and struggles. The tension has been slowly bubbling ever since Vinny made a surprising attempt to kiss his best mate, Cammy Hadid. Since that moment of confusion and vulnerability, the usually kind-hearted but socially awkward Vinny has been spiraling. Guilt, shame, and uncertainty have crept into every aspect of his life, especially in his relationship with Gabby. Trying to avoid Cammy hasn't solved anything. If anything, the emotional distance has only made things worse. Vinny is constantly looking over his shoulder, terrified that someone might find out, especially Gabby. But next week, avoidance becomes impossible when Vinny brings Gabby's car into the garage, where Cammy happens to be working. The air between them is thick with unresolved tension. Cammy, sensing that Vinny needs clarity, asks him outright about his sexuality. It's a brave question, but neither of them realize they're not alone. A phone call that changes everything. Unbeknownst to either man, Laurel Thomas is nearby, her phone call unintentionally connecting to the garage's conversation due to a glitch. She overhears just enough to put the pieces together, and what she hears shakes her. Later, Laurel pulls Vinny aside, asking to speak in private. The young Dingle immediately panics, thinking the worst, that Laurel knows everything and will tell Gabby. But instead of confrontation, Laurel offers quiet understanding. Her gentle words, a mixture of concern and compassion, strike Vinny like lightning. She doesn't push, but she does urge him to consider whether marrying Gabby is the right thing to do if he's struggling with his identity. For a moment, the weight of everything seems to catch up with him. Vinny is forced to reckon with the biggest question of all. Can he continue living a lie? A painful flashback. Before he can process Laurel's advice, the unthinkable happens. Vinny gets news that Gabby has been in an accident. Thankfully, it turns out to be less serious than feared, but for Vinny, the trauma is real. The incident brings back haunting memories of his late wife, Liv, whose tragic death still casts a long shadow over his life. In an instant, his fear of losing someone else he cares about becomes overwhelming. Flooded with emotion and relief, Vinny doubles down on his commitment to Gabby. He rushes to her side, overwhelmed by gratitude that she's okay, and begins to shower her with affection. But under the surface, his turmoil remains unresolved. So the question now is, how long can Vinny continue suppressing the truth? And when it does finally come out, will it be on his terms? For Gabby, the answer could be devastating. Actress Rosie Bentham, who has portrayed Gabby for years, weighed in on the emotional minefield her character may soon be navigating. If Gabby knew the truth, it would really rock her, Rosie reveals. Because she's been through it before. Nikki led her on, and that betrayal hit hard. This would feel like history repeating itself. She might just throw in the towel and give up. It's true that Gabby has been burned before. Her whirlwind romance with Nikki was exposed as nothing more than a cruel plan, leaving her humiliated and heartbroken. But Rosie believes this time is different. There's a real connection between Gabby and Vinny, she continues. It's not like Nikki, where there was a hidden agenda. That relationship was surface level, almost artificial. But with Vinny, it started from a deep friendship, something real. Stronger foundations. Unlike her romance with Nikki, Gabby and Vinny's bond didn't emerge from lust or manipulation. It grew organically, slowly but surely, from shared experiences, mutual respect, and emotional intimacy. Rosie believes that's what makes this potential heartbreak even more painful. We've seen them at home, being domestic, being sweet, she explains. There's a comfort and an ease between them. So if it turns out that Vinny isn't being honest, it's going to cut deep, not just as a romantic betrayal, but as a friend and confidant too. Yet, there's a chance Gabby could surprise everyone. I do think Gabby might be able to be supportive, Rosie suggests. They've always had that foundation of friendship. Even if the romantic side doesn't work out, there's a core love there. I think she'd want to help Vinny through whatever he's going through, but that depends on how he handles it. A risky silence. Right now, however, Vinny is doing the opposite of handling it. He's hiding, suppressing, pretending. As the days pass, the emotional cost of that deception is growing. Viewers have already seen cracks forming in his usually calm exterior. He's distracted, jittery, overcompensating in his affection for Gabby. Signs that something deeper is at play. And Cammy? He's caught in the crossfire. He clearly cares for Vinny, but being a silent partner in this charade can't be easy. Will he stay quiet out of loyalty, or could he eventually spill the truth? A village of watchers. Of course, this is Emmerdale, and secrets rarely stay buried for long. The village has a way of unearthing the truth, and now that Laurel has partially overheard Vinny's conversation with Cammy, it's only a matter of time before more people start asking questions. The biggest danger? Gabby finding out from someone else, or through a painful, indirect revelation. That betrayal could shatter any chance of reconciliation, friendship, or future. Point. Soap insiders hint that this storyline is far from over and may become one of the summer's central arcs. With Vinny's sexuality journey taking center stage, Emmerdale is once again tackling complex, modern issues with heart and honesty. It's a delicate, timely narrative, one that touches on identity, love, trauma, and the cost of silence. And for Vinny, the road ahead looks rocky. Torn between loyalty, fear, and truth, he's standing at a personal crossroads. Every step he takes from here on will determine not just his future with Gabby, but his relationship with himself. What happens next? Fans will be watching closely to see whether Vinny finds the courage to open up, or whether fate will force the truth into the light. For Gabby, it could be a life-altering week. For Vinny, it could be the start of a long, painful reckoning. No matter what happens, one thing is clear. The next chapter in Emmerdale is set to be one of its most emotionally charged in years.